All right, coming off of another good win. I thought that was our best game of the year. We played well. We looked like we played together as a team. We looked a lot more organized in terms of player communication on defense and offense and special teams. Made a lot of mistakes and got a lot of room for improvement, but we can still see a little bit of the light now with what some of these guys can do and they are knowing now what we expect them to do. A few injuries. Gunner got beat up a little bit. He didn't play the second half. He'll be all right. He's practicing today, and it'll be him and Munchie. Munchie's excited that he got some snaps last week, and going back home to New Orleans for Halloween night and Voodoo Festival going on. He's going to feel right at home. So he's looking forward to the trip as we all are. I've coached against Tulane a couple of times in the Superdome, and this will be my first trip to their new stadium. I'm sure they're excited about their new venue on campus. Everybody, that I talk to that doesn't have an on-campus facility like we do here and like some other schools, they're envious. And I'm proud for Tulane for making that commitment to their football program, and to Curtis Johnson, their coach, who's done a good job. And so it'll be a good trip for our players. It's our 8th game in a row. You'd think we're a little bit tired, but actually we've had more enthusiasm. I'd rather not have an open date with enthusiasm, the way we're practicing, the way the guys are flying around, learning, starting to understand a little bit about what we're doing on both sides. We'd like to get a few more guys 100% healthy, but they're playing pretty good beat up. So we'll keep right on going and fight through this Friday night, and then of course we have 12 days off before we play our next game. Tulane. A football team that's been up and down over the years. They've had a lot of coaches. I think they got the right guy now. He understands. He's a pro guy. He has a pro mentality, pro offense, pro defense, puts a lot of speed on the field, recruits a lot of local players. And, even though they've only won a couple of games, they've been in a lot of games. They've come from behind and won games. It's been kind of fun to watch them. They're a lot like we are in terms of the type of players they have on their team. So offensively, we don't know who they're playing at quarterback. They're a lot like us. They've got guys beat up. They've got several options. I think they've played 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks this year. But they continue to get them beat up as we do. But I'm sure they'll have one ready to go, and they've all played. They've got some good young running backs. Their offensive line is experienced. Their receivers are very capable. They've got a big freshman tight end that makes a lot of plays. Defensively, bunch of speed, and they let them play. They play man coverage, and of course that's what we like to see. We like to see a lot of man coverage, and they challenge you. They're very aggressive. They run to the ball, and it's not a big defense, but it's a very quick defense. So we'll have to have a good game plan. But it should be a good matchup, so we're looking forward to it. Before I bring it up for questions, I will make a statement about the problems that we're having on our football team. And I'll be the first one to tell you we have problems. We've had problems. We do have a mentoring program. We have training programs for our kids. We talk to them. But I'm like everybody else. I'm kind of fed up with it. And we're not going to have it anymore if they're going to be on this football team. But, I'm a guy that gives a lot of second chances, but sometimes you have to put your foot down and say, listen, there's no more of it, because these players that come to this room every day represent this football team, this university, and this city, and I'm not going to have it. I mean, I've had problems at other schools, and everybody has problems, but when you have a sequence of problems, then, it kind of gets underneath your skin, everybody's, mine included. And I don't like coming in here on Sundays looking all these guys in the face when 99% of them do stuff right, and I'm screaming it to the choir about, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. So no more second chances, bottom line. And I owe it to the city, this university, and this football team to put good kids on the field that's going to do what we ask them to do. And we're going to do that. So we have a life skills director, which is very important. We have resumes on my desk where we're going to hire another life skills director. We're going to implement programs, hopefully bring in some pro players to talk. But it's usually more effective if you bring kids in like your former players to mentor and talk to guys. Listen, I went through all that. And, sometimes you can have too much fun. And So, we'll have a program put into place. We already have, but we'll keep adding to it because it's our job to educate these kids on and off the field, how to handle themselves. We got a lot of 18, 19-year-olds here that have 15-year-old brains and maturity, and when you have that, they make stupid decisions. But, I've had enough of it. So I'm sure everybody else has too. I'm tired. I want to read about the good things that the good guys in here do 100% of the time instead of just a few guys doing bad things a small part of the time. I mean, that's not good for athletics. That's not good for their families, themselves, or, again, all the other guys in here. Because, again, we owe it to the good guys in here to do things right. So bottom line, no more second chances. Don't get your name in the paper. Don't get in confrontation with the police, because I am on the police side. It's hard every day to get up and put that uniform on. If you're a city policeman here in Cincinnati or an on-campus policeman, I'm on their side. And so if they are confronted with our players, I am on the side of the policeman, because that's the way it should be. And so our players know that. They understand it. For some reason, some of them's not listening. But I think we got their attention this week. So we'll see what happens, but we'll continue to be educators as that's what we are, making sure these guys understand the consequences and how to overcome problems, because we don't just kick people to the streets. But, I think most of them understand now this is a serious situation of every week something happened and I'm getting a phone call. And they know now the consequences is, don't call me, I'll call you. When they have a problem, because I am on the police side, and I'm gonna back them 100%. Questions from the audience?
When you say no second chances, you mean they get in trouble, they're off the team?
Starting right now, yes, sir. Starting last week, really. And again, there's going to be a circumstance or two where, they might not have done anything, but I don't want to see their name in the paper. Now, a certain situation like that, they're done for the year. Now, they'll still be on the team, maybe go through spring practice, but they won't be playing anymore. It's their job to stay out of harm's way. It's their job to not be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, then again, if there's a situation where I know that, they did something wrong, it's done, over.
So if they get arrested, they're off the team for that year, even if they're found innocent in the court of law?
Well, I mean, there's some situations where drinking's involved, and that's part of it. Gone. I'm not going to deal with that. Drinking is a big part of the problem that we have in this country. We can talk about drugs and we drug test our guys once or twice a semester, and we have no problem with that. But almost every university in this country has a problem with alcohol. We're not going to have that problem in here anymore. And I understand these guys, they're growing up and they've got to test things and all that kind of stuff. They're away from home. We've run out of that experimental stage, especially for the young guys. Now, you've got guys here that's 21 years old, and they better be responsible. But if they're underage, no. That's against the law.
How much do you worry about perception, of the program outside of the university? Fans, people who might become fans, when they see all this happen?
Yeah. Well, we hadn't had any problems hardly to this point, and it seemed like it's all run in a situation where we're losing, and we're not doing things right. And that's my fault. I mean, that's my fault. But I hold them accountable, I always have. And again, we're in the business of mentoring these kids I'm more worried about the younger guys. When they come here away from home for the first time, and the first year is the hardest time of their life, going through what I put them through, and then the school part, and then they're around different people. They got to make the right judgments, and so we help them with that. After that first year, they pretty much understand the difference between right and wrong and the things that they get into and should not get into, and how they're going to be held accountable. So, it is what it is. We're not the only team that in the country that has problems. I mean, every day we have a board in there of that's full every week of new things that's happened across the country in athletics, not just football, everything. I'm not responsible for those, but I want to make sure our players understand that they are held more accountable than anybody else on campus of what they do. And I think that's the biggest adjustments I've had to make over the years of understanding, hey, the social media's out there. Nothing's going to be not found out about. So if you do something and you're trying to keep your fingers crossed that nobody finds out about it, you're fooling yourself. And so that's one thing we try to get over to our players. Guys, I mean, it's over. You can't hide anything anymore. And not that we would ever would, but they might would. But it's going to get out. So we have to keep making sure that our players understand the accountability they have to this room, to their teammates, to their families, to the university, and everybody. You know, but I am totally responsible for all 120 of them. But as I said, I'm fixing to take responsibility, and it's going to be harsh punishment because, as we've all seen, it's gotten out of hand. I mean, a lot of them most of them are small things, as compared to a lot of things that go on. But I don't care how small it is. Speeding ticket, parking tickets, any of those things. You get your name in the paper, I mean, you're going to be held accountable because we have wasted our opportunities.
The Tulane offense looks like it's similar to USF's in that they have a tight end, mentioned already, and a fullback right off.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll stay captive your nickel type defense?
Yeah. No, we won't make changes. I don't care whether they play one tight end, two tight ends, four wide receivers. Doesn't make any difference. You know, I want to put as much speed on the field as I can. Speed's going to help you more than anything. Now, you got to be able to hold up. You got to have tough kids, and they've got to understand that. They're going to get bounced around, and some 180-pound nickelback's going to have to take on a 240-pound fullback at times. But it is what it is. I mean, you've just got to go play and try to beat them with your quickness. And so that's what we'll do. We don't change really for anybody. That's always been my philosophy. I don't. As long as you're quick, as long as you're tough physically, then you can play.
On Friday when Gunner goes down one sequence, I think he had only one incompletion on the ball that got batted down. How encouraging was that to know that if Gunner does get dinged, he now can do back up there?
14 out of 15 KAs, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, the thing about Munchie now, he's won, 12 games here since he's been the quarterback, I think starting quarterback of 12 games that he's won. So he's not a stranger, and he's older. He knows how to handle certain situations. He's a good guy to come off the bench because he sees things, he puts them in perspective. He knew what they were doing defensively when he walked on the field. And so it's not like you put a true freshman out there that's kind of blind of what am I going to see, you know. Munchie's been over there coaching himself as the game's going on. And he's known since about the second ball game that Gunner's one pretty good hit away from maybe Ben standing over beside us, which happened Saturday night. And so I was proud of him. I was proud of the way he kept his composure. He ran the football. He flushed out of the pocket a little bit too quick at times. But, you know, that's just from being anxious. You know, and he's one of those guys that wants to make every play and make every play perfect. I'm proud of what he's done, and you know, we want to, whether he starts or not, whether he's back up or whether he'll play this week. And I know he's excited about going home because all of his family's there, and what a fitting environment, you know, for him. And you know, like I said, there wasn't a dry eye on the sideline when he scored that touchdown. I mean, that's you know, we look at all these negative things that goes on. There's something that should be, you know, front page news. The heartaches that kid's gone through and the disappointments to do something like that when he probably should have been working in a bank right now or selling insurance or building his own business or whatever. He wanted to come back, and he's a tough kid. I'm proud of him.
You said you're not sure will Gunner start if he can.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, if Gunner's ready to go, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be, you know, we you know, he's our quarterback. He's the guy that earned the starting spot. Now, like I said, I watched Munchie the last couple of days, you know, taking all the reps, you know, with the ones, and feel very comfortable with him doing it. And I don't want to put Gunner in harm's way either, you know, in terms of not being able to do it. But it's good that both of them are going to be available, and we'll just wait and see, you know, how he feels and go from there. But you know, it's pretty good to have that guy number 4 standing over there, ready to go if he doesn't start, or if he does start, be able to go in the game and feel confident about having experience.
When you kick off, you guys Friday night was Max
he was held out of the game for reasons that, well, not, academic reasons, for my academic reasons. So it's one of those things. He didn't get to dress out, didn't get to play. You got to be accountable. So, but he's back. He's done everything we asked him to do, and he's a young guy that's got to learn. I know he's a junior college junior, but he's like a freshman, and you have to do things the right way. And we've done several of those this year that people haven't even noticed, but we do make sure that they're all held accountable.
With Gunnar, as you said, another good shot that brings away. How is beyond Gunnar and Luncheon, how are the other guys? How are you managing their snaps? And have you seen anything from any one of those guys in particular that makes him look as a good option for number 2?
Yeah, well, Hayden Moore, he'd be our next guy. He's a true freshman. I'm trying not to put him out there, just like Mike Boone, but he was called in the service by necessity, Mike Boone was, and we saw how he did. Quarterbacks are different. They've got a lot more things on their plate, and I don't want to put a 18-year-old out there in that situation unless we have to, but he's practicing with the second team right now, which is good. He's getting a lot of reps, and he stays after practice and works with all the younger guys. So I'd feel comfortable about him going into the game. I just don't want to have to do it. I want to be able to get 4 more years out of him. So our 2 quarterbacks right now are Gunnar and Munchie, and we played Shaq a little bit last week. And Shaq played quarterback in high school and I think won a state championship at Cleveland. What's the name of that school? And what's the name of it? Maple Heights. You go to school there? You and Shaq got a lot in common. So, but he's, we got 3 guys we feel like we can put in there to make plays. And that's what we normally take, 3 to a game. Now, we'll take Hayden this week. And I've been taking him several games just so he can listen in the dressing room, adjustments, and listen on headphones during the game, and trying to get him up to speed and how to prepare himself on the sideline. But I've always done that with, young quarterbacks, try to give them a little boost.
Feel momentum about the team at this point, the way this team's playing the past couple games?
Yeah, it's when things are going good for you on the field, practices are better, enthusiasm's a lot better. There for a 3-game streak, it was tough. We actually did some good things in those 3-game streaks and lost. It's all about winning games, and so you kind of feel like you're putting a lot of work in for nothing. But all that hard work paying that they paid on the practice field through ups and downs of that 3-game losing streak has helped in the last 2 games. And we've gotten much better. We haven't gotten just better. We've gotten much better, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Now, I know we played a couple of more high-profile offenses, but stopping anybody in the running game is really what you're trying to do. And I'm proud of all, especially the defensive line. They've taken a lot of ridicule, and I'm still going to get them a T-shirt that says the Bad News Bearcats, down the road. But again, that's a good thing. Remember, there's a good ending in that movie. Very good ending.
You made a switch at punter. Tracy has been starting. John Lloyd kicked for you in the USF game. How did he perform in the movie you started?
No, we're having, it didn't go very well. As we saw, we keep kicking off the side of our foot. We have no confidence there. We get in pregame warm-up, I go out and watch them, and, man, they look good. They're booming them. When we get in the game, we have no consistency. We'll get one, and then we'll have 2 bad ones or 2 bad ones and a good one. And I'm just looking for somebody to kick it in the proper direction and get a little height on it. I'm not looking for 60-yard punts. I'm just looking for some consistency, and it's been that way. We work every week on drills where we put pressure on them, but hopefully the light will turn on. Like Gantz, he's 9 out of 10 field goals and had a pretty good year. So hopefully these next 5 games, that will be a strong part of our special teams.
You talked about your depth at quarterback. Has there been any change in Jared Evans' status?
No. That's up to him and in the court system. Yeah, Mike travels with us, and he possibly could be a guy that would take. He knows the offense. He's eligible, and he's got the ability to know enough of the offense to run it. And he goes more for signal purposes. And if it came to a situation between he and Hayden Moore, it'd be a toss-up who I'd put in, but probably Michael would go in first because he's been with us and he's older and he understands the speed of the game. Thank you.